Rob and Kale Podcast. Rob and Kale Podcast. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
Kale
it.
Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale Podcasts.
Let's go.
And welcome into the Rob and Kale Podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. I am here in Columbia, South Carolina, as we were dodging some raindrops earlier. My podcast partner is in the upstate. He is the best damn Gamecock YouTuber on the planet. He's Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Not much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly gentlemen, I assume. I hope everyone is doing well tonight.
What table? Yeah, I think everybody is doing well. We're getting closer and closer to college football season. I'm going to put out the link, let you guys do your thing this evening. It's right there by your hands. There you go. Helping my wife out for a minute. The other bottle's right there too. Anyway, we're maneuvering some stuff here. Anyway, we do have a lot of college football stuff we've got to get into, Jackpot, including I wanted to get your reaction off the rip, what you thought about the stuff Shane Beamer said at SEC Media Days. And I have a picture that I want to show you that I want you to explain to me, sir, because I just don't get it. I'll show it to you in a minute. But what'd you think of Beamer's comments at SEC Media Days?
I mean, I thought he carried himself well. Look, when he, when he's not like under pressure, I guess, I guess he is under pressure there. But when I guess he has time to prepare and or someone prepares him. He does a really good job. I mean, he's a pretty good public speaker. Did a good job selling me. I want to go run through a brick wall right now. In fact, I want to run through two of them.
Well, do you still want to run through a brick wall when you see this picture, Jackpot? And I just want you to tell me what in the fuck is Shane Beamer doing here, sir?
It looks photoshopped.
No, sir. That's not photoshopped.
I mean, how can you tell?
I just don't think that's Photoshop. That photo's making the rounds there, buddy.
Well, what the hell is that? I mean, is that a D? What the fuck is it?
He's on like a mechanical bull.
Why? Okay, well, who brought a mechanical bull into SEC media days?
I don't know. Pretty crazy. I just thought
I
I'd
mean, I
share that
wouldn't
with you.
blame him for jumping up on it. I'd blame whoever brought it in there. I mean,
Gamecock Chuck says no, he's riding a bull, and he said he just got off of it. Yeah. So anyway, it's in
okay.
Dallas, so they have the whole thing in Dallas. Where if you went to
So,
Dallas, Jackpot, would you wear a cowboy hat?
absolutely. I might wear one outside of Dallas. Might wear one here.
I could see you in a nice Stetson, nice black cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Jackpot
a
can make that work.
JR hat.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna pay like $10,000 like he paid for his, but or whatever the hell it was. But we can get you an imitation one. Get you a TJ Maxx version.
According to Nectarino's, they had everyone ride that. So
He just looked like he was not comfortable at all.
probably
I
wouldn't. I mean, especially if that thing was live. I mean,
Yeah, no,
fuck
okay.
around and find out. He's already
Yeah.
broke his foot. I guess he wants to break his arm, wrist, or any other
Wouldn't
part
that
of
be
his
the
anatomy.
most? Wouldn't that be the most Gamecock thing ever if Shane Beamer rode the mechanical bull and got injured at SEC media days?
Absolutely,
Be the most Gamecock thing ever.
without question.
All right, so I'm gonna pepper you with some more stuff here, Jackpot. Who was it? The guy from the Action Network, Brett McMurphy, put out a piece that basically it was almost like a hit piece on Florida State, basically saying that there's no chance that they're going to the Big Ten or the SEC because neither of those conferences want Florida State, simply because of the way that they acted with the ACC, with the whole thing of saying that Swafford screwed the TV contracts for his son, etc. I mean, what did you think about that? Do you think there's value to Florida State joining another conference?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, they're going to bring a ton of eyeballs. I mean, but in terms of the SEC, no. I mean, because that 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 area is already sewed up. I mean, you've already got Florida, so the SEC doesn't need them. In other words, maybe if they hadn't added the other two teams, then maybe I could see. Yeah, I mean, it could be a fit, even though I mean, it kind of goes back on what I just said about the media market, but I don't think the SEC needs them right now. So
Well, I mean, let's just be honest. If we're really being just brutally honest, there's not a lot that the SEC needs as far as teams go, unless they want to go out west.
mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you get what I'm saying? Because they're in Texas and I mean all the way up the whole eastern seaboard there. I mean, I guess I could see moving up towards I don't know, New York, etc. But the SEC really doesn't need anybody. I mean, I can make that argument.
I mean, it would make more sense for them in terms of TV wise and getting more eyeballs on the product. It would make more sense to get North Carolina and Virginia into the mix than it would those two.
Well, there was another article that talked about if
I
the
mean,
ACC
they don't bring a
goes,
lot. They don't bring a lot to the table football wise. But I mean, maybe North Carolina does a little bit. But
but North Carolina's a brand though.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, you have that too. But I think the big thing though is that there's a lot of. I read another article that said maybe there'd be a lot more interest in Florida State if the entire conference was going to go to shit and you could get Virginia. And this one article I read said that Virginia and North Carolina are more viable brands than Florida State. I mean, I don't know what Virginia brings to you, period, on an athletic front. I really, really don't.
Well, they've won some. I mean, they have a successful baseball program. They've got a pretty successful men's basketball program.
That's true. They won a national title, but I mean,
And they were
I
ranked
just
number
look at,
one back in 1990 in football for 3 weeks.
I mean, that was 34 years ago, but the thing that I'm getting at, Jackpot, is that I look at everything through the lens of it has to be football because that's what's going to draw your big contract money. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So on a football front, Virginia doesn't bring you shit. I mean, they're terrible. I think Virginia and Vanderbilt would have like a scoreless tie. I can see that.
But who, between who?
Virginia and Vanderbilt.
Oh, Virginia beat their ass.
You think so? Seriously?
Yeah, I do. I really, really do. I think Vanderbilt's going to get pounded by Virginia Tech the first game this season, and everybody will be they'll be proving that Virginia Tech hype. All right, because
Oh,
they can beat teams that aren't worth a shit. They can't beat anybody who.
It'll be funny because that's like game one of the season for both of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after game one, let's say Virginia Tech wins 42-3 or whatever. Not that Virginia Tech has done anything, but the SEC nut huggers, the ones that'll be running their mouths, they won't say shit about that game because Vanderbilt doesn't count. That's kind of the way that they'll throw that out there. Those same nut huggers, when South Carolina got shut out by Virginia in a bowl game that no one gave a shit about, you didn't hear the SEC nut huggers then either. It's pick and choose with them. It really, really is. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
So, Zono says, Jackpot, do you want Clemson in the SEC?
No, not really. I think there needs to be something there that's just not quite attainable. Because I love hearing them how much it grinds their gears, and they get so fucking pissed off every damn time they talk about a tough SEC schedule, and then they start running down Vanderbilt and running down it used to be Missouri, and running down the Gamecocks and pick and choosing whatever shit team they could to try to prove their point, which was not valid. So I love hearing them do that, especially on the radio. It's quite comical.
Well, if we ended up with like the Premier League where you can join and the conference that you're in depends on how viable your football program is. I would love that. South Carolina would be down there in the shit shows, which is where they belong. But if we're going to keep things the way that they are right now, I don't want Clemson in the SEC. What do you get from that? Nothing. I think the only thing that I would want is, in a perfect world, even TV money. It's stupid that Vanderbilt will have more TV money than Clemson will in a year? Like a hell of a lot more. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, my thing is, a team like them, what are they doing with their TV money?
Well, they're obviously not. I mean, they're obviously not putting it into the program.
I mean, they put it into facilities, I guess, because they're done some kind of renovation there on the stadium, which is, I don't know. I mean, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, I guess.
So, the whole thing with a tough SEC schedule, a lot of that depends on your draw. If you look at Mizzou this season,
Right.
Here are their SEC opponents: Vanderbilt at home, on the road at A&M, Auburn at home. They go to Alabama, bye week, Oklahoma, at South Carolina, at Mississippi State, at Arkansas. Of all those teams that are there, I think that one of them was ranked in the top 25 at the end of the season last year. Or was Oklahoma wasn't ranked. I think it was just Alabama. So
Oklahoma finished 10-3. They weren't ranked.
I don't think, did they finish 10-3? I think that was the year
Yeah.
before, right?
No, they
Either way.
finished. They were 6-7 the year before. They
That's
finished
right.
10-3. They
I'm
lost their bowl
backwards.
game to Arizona.
You have two top 25 teams from the last.
Noah Stinky Fafita.
So if we look at Texas's schedule, Texas gets Georgia, and then after that, it's a bunch of a bunch of nothing. Mississippi State, Oklahoma, who they normally play every year anyway. At Vanderbilt for about 12 fans. The Florida Gators, who are a shithole. Arkansas, they'll play them the first week of November. Arkansas will probably be looking for a new coach by then. Big Barney Ross's Wildcats then after that, and then they go to Texas A&M.
Stop scratching
Just
that.
saying, you can have an SEC schedule and it not be the toughest schedule on the planet. I mean, you can just look at a helmet schedule and it'll show you the same thing. Hey, there's Ziggy.
Hey,
So,
Ziggy.
what's up, Ziggy? So anyway, I get when people talk about, oh, we have a tough SEC schedule. Some teams do. Other teams do not. I mean, not everybody has the beat them down the throat schedule that other teams have, because you don't have but so many teams that are at the top there. You can make an argument for what Tennessee has Alabama and Georgia. That should be tough. You can make an argument for, let's see here. Mississippi State has to play at Tennessee. They have to play Mizzou. They have to play at Ole Miss, at Georgia.
They play Texas
Florida.
also.
No, Mississippi State does not have Texas on their schedule.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, sir. Oh, actually, they do. You're right. I'm sorry. They also play at Texas. You're right, Jackpot. I missed that one.
Ugh.
So they get a road trip to Texas, a road trip to Georgia, a road trip to Tennessee, and a road trip to Ole Miss. I mean, now that's the tough SEC schedule. You can make an argument for that one. But these other schools,
the schedule makers definitely did not do the old first year head coach any favors there.
No, I'm just saying.
And they actually could end up being a decent team. You might not even really know it.
You're probably right about that. It's just when I stop and look at it, I just want to be like, all right. Some teams have a tough SEC schedule, some don't. I look at some of the non-con games too. Some of these are interesting. LSU's playing Southern Cal and UCLA. So they have, two former Pac-12 schools, I guess.
That
yeah.
that UCLA game is a return of a home and home series from a few years ago. They went out there to the Rose Bowl and they lost. Do you remember that?
I remember that. And
they was out here up there with the paparazzi and got beat.
But still with that though, I mean, LSU, you can make an argument their schedule is tough because they've got Arkansas, I'm not Arkansas. What the hell am I talking about? They've got Ole Miss, they've got Alabama, Oklahoma, in addition to they play at South Carolina the third game of the season, but they got Southern Cal to open up. So some teams have tougher schedules than others. Just because you're in the SEC doesn't mean you have a tough schedule, I guess is the reason that I went.
I think Southern Cal is trending down. So
I don't think that's a reach, sir. By the way, there was a question asked at SEC Media Days about the whole horns down thing. Yeah, no one's getting penalized for that. We kind of knew that was coming anyway. But for that to come out at SEC Media Days, that, hey, whatever they come up with, if they want to do the horns down thing, no one's going to say anything to them, basically.
If you're up in somebody's face after the play taunting them or something, you're going to get a flag.
No, but if fans are in the stands,
it's not going to be because it's horns down. It's just going to be because it's taunting.
Right, but if you're a fan in the stands and you do the horns down thing, it's not going to be anything come to you, you know. So there's
Yeah.
that. Let's see here. Jerry says, Robin Jackpot, if you're the AD at Oregon State or Washington State, what is your next move, sir? Trying to win the conference this year. That way you look really good, just in case we have another round of expansion coming up.
Yeah,
Oh,
but are they eligible to compete for the conference championship?
I
I
don't know.
don't think they are. I think they're just they're in an agreement and they play a bunch of Mountain West teams. But I don't
I
think
would
they're
try
actually.
to. I would try to make my program look really good,
They're
and I
not.
would
Yeah, I would steamroll through that and just beat the shit out of all those teams because they're
right.
probably
Like
good.
we had no choice. We were put into this because there were a lot of other greedy bastard teams, and but we ended up with this schedule, and we decided to beat everybody 49-7. Shows you we're a valid program.
There's no
So
reason. There's no reason why the Big 12 couldn't pick those teams up.
yeah, well, it would make sense. So Big Barney Ross says if you can put the L's down in Louisville, you can hit them with the horns down in Texas. Very good there. Very good, sir. Jackpot will rejoin us here in a moment. Papa B says, how bad do you think the ACC begged Notre Dame football to join? Look, there was no begging. We've talked about this, right? They had them by the balls. They could have told them on the COVID year, look, you're already here the majority of the time anyway, but understand you need to be part of our conference here because you're
Sorry,
not going to have us. That's all right, Jackpot.
sorry,
You're
Donald
not going to
Trump
have
was
us.
calling me.
How'd that work out for you?
Good. I mean, I was supposed to check on him earlier and I forgot. But
Okay. So with that, you have the whole setup there where um they want to. I lost my train of thought here. Oh, yeah, that they had them by the balls. They could have made them join the conference. If they would have just had a little bit of a satchel and said, you know what? I think we're gonna make you sweat a little bit. We're not gonna let you have just this 1 year because you absolutely need us. They literally treated the ACC like a road whore, used her for what they wanted, and then said, nah, we're not going to fucking be seen out in public with you after that. Can you imagine if Swafford would have held his ground with them? Because he had nothing to lose. It's the COVID season, the whole 9 yards there. He could have said, no, we're not going to schedule any teams with you because he could have even leaned on it and said, you know what? The SEC's not scheduling teams out of conference. We're not going to do that either on the football front. I'm sorry. He would have been perfectly fine. He could have held them to it. And then the ACC would be a lot more viable right now with Notre Dame as a program in it. We probably wouldn't be having these discussions about the conference going to the shitter if Swafford would have made that move.
hell yeah, well
Instead, he chose being
he
union.
was probably afraid they were going to say, "No, fuck you, we're going to take our money and we're getting out after this
But I mean, you're
COVID
not
thing's
getting
over."
anything from football anyway, so bye.
Yep.
You
Well,
know, I mean, what a mess. We got a Tim with a great comment here. Swafford is the reason the ACC is in this mess. The president's also caved. Yes, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There's a group of people there that, and when I go to ACC kickoff next week, I'm sure the representative I've got that you have like a liaison that handles, the radio folks, the writers, all that, right? And I know that my liaison, his name's Tim, he watches our show. And he's going to get pissed at me, and him and I'll have a conversation at the Westin next week because I've said this before and he's gotten pissed about it. There's a small group of people up there that didn't give a shit about anything but that North Carolina Duke matchup between those elite, their mind, blue blood, pussy bitch schools playing basketball. Let's all get together and circle jerk each other. And oh my God, this is the best ever. Oh, fuck both of those teams. I can't stand those two teams. And ESPN so whores them out so much. This is the best basketball. They even say this is the best rivalry in the history of sports. Motherfucker, there are more people that care about Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, South Carolina football. I could even give you some damn. Wofford used to have hellacious rivalries with the Citadel. Those are more appealing to me than these blue blood cheating bastards up there playing basketball.
Oh, that was Furman in the city.
African American studies degrees. Fuck both of them. But that's exactly right, Tim. Very good comment.
So fuck both those African Americans. Let's not get in racial overtone.
No, that's not what I said. I said fuck both of those schools that gave fake African American studies degrees.
I don't think Duke handed out. I don't think Duke has been known for academic scandals and cheating. You just don't like them. They had the whole deal with the lacrosse people or whatnot.
Well, that ended up being shit. That ended up being crap. All that was thrown out. So, anyway. Yeah, you know what, Jackpot? Thanks for bringing me back on that. I just don't fucking like them. But I have proof now that is what has killed, or what may eventually kill, football in the ACC. What you're dealing with now with the TV rights. So, there's that.
Y'all probably want to get away from Duke and not be playing them anymore, especially in football, because,
I'm not even going to justify that with a response. All right, there you go. If you want to join the show, have at it. There was one other topic I want to throw you away. Kirby Smart was asked about this the other day do you think that do you want the conference championships to go away? He talked about he still wanted the SEC to still do their thing. And it's such a great he talked about the whole, the pageantry of the SEC championship and all that. I think that's insane to go that route, because that SEC championship game, there's going to be the same level of dum-dums that are like, the SEC should have 6 of the 12 playoff teams regardless. Fuck your mother, all of that. The actual sane people will look at it and say, look, if you have an SEC championship game, you could knock one of your teams out of the playoffs. What is the purpose of having that championship game anymore, or any of them across the country, to be honest with you?
Well, isn't that conference championship game going to determine seeding for the playoffs?
Right, but the team that loses, if you have a 2-loss team there, they lose that game, they could be a 3-loss team. They probably knock themselves out of the playoffs. Even though they probably are a team that is deserving to be in there.
Randall says he's watched every one of my videos, but you can't remember who I picked in the LSU South Carolina game. You hadn't watched them all then.
Yeah, Jackpot picked that game. You going to help him out, or just let him soak?
I picked the good guys. South Carolina with the upset.
Yeah.
We're starting out.
So
We're losing Old Dominion. We win. We lose to Kentucky on the road, and then come home and upset you people. And then we beat Akron, and then we're losing to someone.
He said Southern Cal, sir. Oh, goddamn. What a mess. Oh, let's welcome
the USC. No, I'd take LSU in that. I think USC sucks.
All right, Ray, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, man, I tuned in just a little bit late. I got busy, but I saw in the chat, I'm sure you guys were already talking about the Brett McMurphy, I guess, tweet or whatever about Clemson and Florida State. Well, go back and look at history. Wasn't the same thing said about other schools? It was never going to go to a conference. And then the next thing you know, out of the blue, they're in a conference.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I kind of agree with you on that. But on the other front, if you're trying to fish something from a conference commissioner at media days, they're not going to tell you anything.
Of course they're not.
Then all of a sudden it's just going to come out. Yeah, we had an opportunity to add XYZ school here, and we did.
Right.
So that's what's going to happen.
I agree 100%. It just amazes me that the gullibility of people that hinge on every word of every person that says anything on Twitter, X, or whatever, and they take it as the gospel, and they're just throwing crap up against the wall, hoping something's going to stick. They have
they're just doing shit for clicks.
Absolutely
Well,
right, Jackpot.
I felt like the Brett McMurphy piece was almost like a hit piece on Florida State.
Oh, absolutely it was.
Basically, now, and let me make sure that I put this out there. I hope Florida State loses every game they play.
Of course
I
you
don't
do.
like them, but I can read what this guy put out with zero sources that were of any substance. And it's basically the Florida State is not considered viable financially, I think was one of the lines. Are you out of your fucking mind? Florida State's not viable, but Vanderbilt is. Vanderbilt is. Get out of here with that bullshit.
Right. Yeah, we
I
have
think
no
there's-
money. We have nothing. You know, we
Well-
have no alumni base. We have nothing.
Well, I mean, you've got plenty of money to pay all those transfer portal players. So, I mean,
well,
there's no
yeah,
doubt.
it's maybe you ever think about it, we spend our money in the right place and not in the wrong place. We don't give a shit about the fucking golf or the tennis team. All we care about is the football team.
Well, that's what you should care about. Is the football.
Absolutely, because what pays the bills for all the other sports? Football. You got to get your priorities in order. You absolutely.
I'm with
do.
you.
You know,
I'm with you on that.
but anyway, it just astounds me that now that's all everybody's talking about. Brett McMurphy, the know all, see all has. I mean, what source? If anything is to it and it's credible, well, I understand. Well, I don't want to reveal my sources. Well, whatever. For me to take you seriously, you've got to prove some shit to me. You can't just say it.
When Texas joined the SEC, I remember I went back and looked at when there were people talking about this conference doing this and that conference doing that. I remember like people like, and I think McMurphy was one of them. Oh, there's no way that Texas would leave the Big 12. They run the Big 12. They do whatever the hell they want in the Big 12. People remember reading that stuff, right?
Exactly. And also they were saying that there was assurances of Texas A&M that when you join the SEC, we will never allow Texas to be in the SEC. You know, bullshit. Every conference commissioner is going to do what benefits their conference. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If it makes feasible sense, it's going to happen. Now, do they not want it? Does Greg Sankey want to open his mouth and open up a can of worms while you got two universities in the middle of a lawsuit against a conference? Well, he'd be stupid to say anything. Now, if it gets settled and then Clemson and Florida State's free agents, well, I guarantee you some damn body's going to want them. I don't give a shit what Brett McMurphy has to say. You have a great day, guys.
The moonwalking that McMurphy's going to have to do when, that some of this goes down and he's going to have to walk some of that back. Whew, that's going to be great. But let's just live in a world for a second if we can have a vacuum jackpot. What if the SEC or the Big Ten have their choice and they can get Clemson, they can get North Carolina, they can get Virginia, which it seems like everybody's coveting, or of those four. I mean, you would think Florida State would be one of them, right? That they'd want to go first, right?
You would think.
So, I don't know. We'll see. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. All right, I want to give people an opportunity to.
Did you hear what Paul Finebaum had to say about Dabo today?
I do not listen to what Schmiegel said. What did he say?
No, Dabo was talking about the with the playoffs deal, and late in the season, that these games may not matter the way that they did in the past. He's like, you might have a couple of guys deciding to opt out of game 11, to keep from getting hurt, to prepare for the playoffs. He's like, that's kind of like the world we've created right now. And Finebaum said something about him sounding like the old man yelling at the clouds now.
Goddamn, whatever. Finebaum is just, he's come a long way from the guy that was, rallying up the fucking trailer parks at one point. He really has. I mean, he used to be the trailer park raider, man, and now it's Finebaum's the voice of the SEC. If you're a Gamecock fan, I've posted the shit that he wrote about they should be kicked out of the conference in their first year when they lost to Alabama 48-7 and shit like that he wrote.
Yeah, like we're the only team that's ever done that.
Yeah, if you really should go back and read some of that shit, because it's fucking hilarious, the shit that he says. Absolutely hilarious. SEC dog with dumbness. Who in their right mind would water down the best college football conference in America? Yeah, well, you had supposedly the best conference in America anyway. You did. And then you went and added Texas and Oklahoma. For that, and it's really stupid, though, when people think stuff like that. People like SEC dog, when they make comments about Clemson and their viability, they're just upset. They want to be Clemson. I think that's part of it. Really do. Really believe that. It's absolutely dumb. Absolutely dumb. Especially if you're.
Anybody wants to be Clemson, but
of course they do. You don't want to be Clemson with where Clemson's been? Are you out of your mind?
No.
Randall's correct. The SEC would love Clemson. It just doesn't make sense because they're already in the state. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. But if the ACC goes tits up and the SEC could have Clemson and Florida State, they would take them. I really do think they would do that. So it's just funny. And a lot of it's funny too. And a lot of it is you've got guys that they're going to just sit there and just rock hard defend their conference because they're simpletons. And we'll deal with that.
The Biscuit says Finebaum is the most average personality in sports. I have no idea how he's achieved this. Yeah, he's rather dry and boring.
He is very boring.
He's a wet fart.
Yeah, that he is. All right, if you'd like to join the program, we'll put the link over here for you so you can join the show. Here it is. Welcome all of you this evening. Ed says every SEC team plays 8 conference games and plays 4 either group of 5 or FCS teams. Fair enough. Biscuit says he's a dry fart. Okay.
Okay. Well,
he doesn't get the personality to be a wet fart.
He doesn't even have enough personality to be a wet poot. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Bandy Dandy says there was less competition to be successful decades ago. That's how Finebaum succeeded. Will says, I don't understand how Finebaum went to Tennessee, but just sucks off Alabama for 3 hours on TV every day because that's where he wrote. That's where it all started. He wrote for fucking papers in Alabama. And then he got a radio show in Alabama. And he built it into this, where he was just sucking off Alabama fans for the longest time. And then he would suck off Auburn fans on the years he needed to suck them off. And then it just blossomed from there.
What is it with these people that start off in writing magazines and newspapers that turn into like big TV personalities? Same thing with Vince Russo, bro. He started out writing articles for the WWF magazine for like $100 an article.
Because a lot of it comes
he's
back
producing
down to
Raw.
Well, they're creative, and that's what people want. They're creative. That's the thing. So they think that they can be on TV and do something. So there's that. Anyway,
Randall says he
here?
lives in Louisiana. I turn on the TV when Clemson is playing. Yeah, but how fast do you switch the channel, sir?
There's his next response. Rather Clemson than fucking Tennessee. Very good, sir. Yeah, I called him Schmiegel. Big Barney Ross says Finebaum's going to play next in The Hobbit. Yeah, I called him Schmiegel. That's what he is.
How do you spell that? Schmiegel.
Schmiegel? Well, the way I spell it is Shmeegal. I could be wrong.
I don't think that's how it's spelled, but
I don't know. We're having fucking spelling bee here on the program,
no,
sir.
I'm just wondering if I ever want to use it in
I think
something
they.
I'm writing, sir.
Yeah,
I might
the other
start
name was-
writing. That's how you apparently get to the top. I'm too
I'd
old.
read.
I'm too old to fuck my way to the top, so I might be able to write my way to the top.
All we got to do is flatten your head, jackpot, and get you some teeth that come out, and you'd be fine.
Hairy leg, I
Schmiegel.
think, has the correct spelling of that word there.
Yeah. There you go with that. All right. Well, what else do we have this evening? I can't remember anything else that was flowing my way there, but what a mess that all this expansion stuff is,
What
man.
are these other SEC? Is the SEC Media Days wrapped up yet, or we got one more
I think
day?
they wrap up tomorrow. I think so. Yeah, I gotta look at the schedule. I think it's tomorrow.
Didn't Sunbelt Billy speak today?
If he did, I didn't listen.
I think,
Hold on, I got the schedule here. Hold on. Here we go. So, according to this, tomorrow. So today, Sunbelt Billy was on at 150, followed by Texas, and yet Mississippi State and Alabama, all of them in the mix there together.
Jerry
Tomorrow,
said, "Did you all watch the All-Star game?" I watched a little bit of it. Did you watch any of that, Rob?
I did. I watched the. I wanted to see what the Braves did.
I think it's pretty
Tomorrow,
cool. Is this the first time they've ever had the players mic'd up like that, or have they been doing
I've
that?
had him mic'd up before. Yeah, I had him mic'd up out in the field, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that one kid from the Phillies. I mean, right after he got done talking, he had to take a stab at a grounder and then kind of tossed it backhanded there and got the force out. So that was pretty cool.
That's something that could make baseball really interesting if they did that for every game.
I really, 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 I don't, and I know it's just all about marketing and but I can't stand the fucking uniforms. Like, I really wish they would just go back to letting them wear their uniform. I hate that.
Yeah, they look like
They look like
softball
clowns.
They did look like clowns, but
Awful. Just absolutely awful.
Here's what you got tomorrow for SEC Media Days. You lead off with the Hogs at 10:35 in Sam Pittman's last SEC Media Days appearance.
Leading off with the Hog. Sounds just like
sex. Jesus. Followed by Texas A&M at 12:05. Then you go Auburn at 2:05. And then Kentucky at 3:25. Kentucky wraps up SEC Media Day.
Kentucky bringing up the rear, huh?
What's interesting about that is that you've got it's in Dallas. It was in Birmingham. I've been there. What is in Birmingham? It's like they normally try to put one of the Alabama schools on the last day in the Birmingham setting because then you'll have people that'll be there and the reporters will stay, etc. But in Dallas, man, there won't be very many people there after, I would say, A&M. Hugh Freeze is going to be looking out. There's a flood of people, and then all of a sudden Hugh Freeze is like, because people will go right. Well, but people will go, and sometimes people will just go the day that the team they cover is there. So,
that makes sense.
That
makes sense.
Yeah. So like when I would go when I go to ACC kickoff, I would go because it was a 2-day event. You might as well go and check out all of it. But when you go to SEC Media Days, if it's 3 days event, there is, if you're covering South Carolina and you look at the rest of the guys on that schedule there, and let's say that Auburn, so Texas A&M is on the schedule, Kentucky's on the schedule. You might want to be there for that. But if you're looking at the rest of it, why go in for teams the Gamecocks aren't going to play? Yeah, you're not going to get any good info out of it.
Well, or either all the coaches of some of the other teams, even that too. I mean, I'd be all about what Shane had to say, but I mean, that Kalen DeBoer guy, who wants to hear him? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but you can, especially if the teams aren't going to be that good, what are you going to get out of it?
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, you may watch at home, but as far as if you're going to go report on this stuff, you don't care. You don't care. Brock says, if I were at SEC Media Days, I would ask Stoops about the whole Texas A&M thing. Yeah, that's interesting too. So, and then see, here's the thing.
He ain't gonna answer. He just
no, he'll sidestep it. They have like the session you see is the session that's like in an auditorium. Okay, and then they'll have breakout sessions where you'll go into like another room, and then another set of reporters get to ask coaches questions, and then they'll have the players doing the same things. So for some of these players, like I remember a couple, what was it, 2 years ago? Like Syracuse sent one of their offensive linemen, and this kid was sitting in his chair, and you got 3 different chairs up here, so 3 different athletes. Okay, Jordan Travis is sitting in the middle. And then you got a running back from Duke. I can't remember who it was. And then this poor lineman.
Waters.
Yeah, this poor lineman from Syracuse. Nobody wanted to talk to this poor kid.
Well, I mean,
so everybody's in there for all these sessions, and you go up and
you play for a fucking wet turd program, and you're a damn lineman. I mean, people.
I know, but it's just like they're still kids, Jackpot, and it's like, man, this kid went and got dressed in his best suit to come down there.
I mean, I'd still make some conversation with him.
Well, that's what I did. That's what I did because I don't want to.
Been cold up there lately, huh?
No, but I mean, you could come up with something viable. Like, I think the question that I asked him was, you guys played Clemson down to the wire last season. What is your, how does your team feel heading into this season? You got the matchup with the Tigers again. Can you get the job done at the Dome this year instead of falling short like you did at Death Valley last year? And then he gave me this great, eloquent answer because offensive linemen are generally bright motherfuckers. And it was great. I ended up using it later on.
What would you have done if he'd have said, well, I think your garbage quarterback's probably going to hit a couple of our cheerleaders in the back with footballs. We're still going to lose because we don't have any talent.
Because we're a shithole. No, I would definitely ask him that. I don't have a problem with that. But it's just kind of cool when they put people in rooms like that and you get to talk with them. It's kind of neat. Vandy Dandy says in the 80s might have been, but now it's just a big corporate place for men in their 70s. I don't know what he's talking about up there. So Brandon says Mike Elko was great, but yeah, I don't see them sniffing anything close to that. So, but that's why I like to go to ACC kickoff and SEC media days when I can, because you can get in with some players that you normally may not get something out of throughout the season. And sometimes you may not get them back out to the media ever. So you can use, you record everything and then you can keep all of it. You record everybody's questions because they may ask something that you forgot. And, it's just a cool thing to do because you learn a lot about a team too, because they'll have one of their offensive guys, one of their defensive guys, and you can see how they get along. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Ben Boulware was really good at ACC kickoff. So was who else was good there as far as Clemson goes? Uyunglele did really good his first year. He was like, he was just over the top polite and gave direct, great answers.
They took him.
Some of the, yeah, Louis Uiagalelei was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't remember. I knew they didn't. I knew Trevor Lawrence didn't go.
Nope, he didn't go.
No, that what was the offensive lineman that wore a girl's wig?
Yeah, that was God. I can't remember his name, but he's
John
from
Simpson.
John Simpson. That's right. Yeah, he was really good.
Um,
Billy says, "Rob, did you get Nico's
you know they
autograph?"
like to wear girls' clothes and shit up there. What? But then Lawrence didn't get to go anyway because that. I mean, when his last year, that was right there when COVID was. I mean, we were
Right.
like coming out of it, right? So in 21.
I think. Let me look. I think
When
he
was
went
his last? Was his last year 2020? Yeah, it
Yeah, hold on.
was.
Let's see here.
So they probably didn't even have a media days.
I think he went to one of them. ACC
In
kickoff.
2020, you probably didn't have a media days. It's probably virtual. I would have thought. Who remembers?
Yeah, that's exact. That's it was virtual then. Let's see here. I don't think he did that. I remember Uiagalelei being there, and then they sent the offensive lineman Simpson 1 year. Who was the guy? I have a favorite. Who was the defensive lineman that got drafted by the Raiders that ended up sucking? I can't remember his name, but he was
Cleveland
there.
Farrell.
Yeah, Cleveland Farrell was there. I had an interview with him, and who else? The offensive lineman that his name slips my mind. They ended up playing for the Dallas Cowboys for a little bit. He started as a freshman at tackle.
Mitch Hyatt.
Mitch Hyatt, yeah.
Damn,
So,
son, I know all your damn players. And you don't even fucking remember them. What
brother,
is that? What kind of message is that?
I treat this show like you and I are just friends having a beer. If we were going to sit down and actually interview motherfuckers, you want to try that with me? Let's see how that works out. I'd knock that shit out of the park. I'm sure you'd hold your own, but I'd know everybody's name.
Well, I bet you'd probably have to look them up first.
I prep. That's the way I prep. I write down all that shit because I write out my questions and everything. So I memorize.
Bandy Dandy says he's tired of players in their sixth year still playing. Some are 25 years old. Well, I mean, they got an extra year, man. They'll be cycled out. I mean, this will be probably about the last year of that.
COVID.
We're 4 years removed from that, so.
Oh man, what a mess that shit was. All right, I'm put the link over here one more time if you guys want to join the program.
Did you hear that they rushed Joe Biden to the hospital, or he went to the hospital, or maybe he didn't go to the hospital? I don't know. They say he has COVID.
Jesus. I don't talk politics on the show, but
I'm not talking politics. I'm just talking about a man having COVID.
I'm saying, Jackpot, that it's crazy that we have, Joe Biden tests positive for COVID, according to a report here. Tested positive for COVID.
They're probably going to use this as an excuse to have him step out.
Get him out. Well, I hate to be I'm not predicting anything that's crazy right now, but unless Jesus Christ runs, Trump's not losing this election. No. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. No. Someone posted a graphic when like the election after Reagan got shot. Like he won every state but one.
Oh, where he ran against Walter Mondale.
Right. He ran against Mondale and he won every state but one. And not to get into the whole weeds of it, but women are going to be like, my God, this guy took a bullet. Then he'll get, I bet he gets 70% of the women's votes, some ridiculous number like that. It's going to be that high. And Democrats are trying to run a Hail Mary play right now when they really don't have a candidate. They really don't. It's just a mess. It's the Democrats' presidential hopes right now are like Gamecock football. They're the shits. They really are. They got a doofus running it.
They don't even have a young Lenoris Sellers at quarterback.
Yeah,
to
they
try
don't
to,
even
try
have
to
that.
pull some votes in.
Yeah. And it's not even about if you like Trump or not. I'm just saying the whole thing with that, he's going to get so many votes out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. Vandy Dandy says Trump could lose if the MAGA people keep acting like a cult. You know, what I'm sad about is that our country got to a point where we put two geriatrics in the position where they could be president of the United States. Like, I know this sounds like I'm being an ageist person here, but you don't get to run for president after 65, in my opinion. That's the way it should be. I mean, Joe Biden is literally wearing diapers from some reports. Our president
This might
through a meeting
establish
without
some kind. I
shitting
mean,
himself.
this may call. I mean, looking at his condition, I mean, they may call for some kind of reform like that. But then you couldn't do it though. I mean, you couldn't draw a line on that because then it's age discrimination.
Hunter Slay trying to just paint people, and that's another thing too. It says Vandy Dandy's a liberal. Go figure. Just because of what he said up top about his comment earlier about some of the stuff that either side, man, you've got just clumps of people that act cultish on both sides. And it's just sad. We should debate about issues. And you pick the guy that most goes in line with your values and then go from there. But now it's just like it's almost like team sports, like fuck you. It's pretty sad.
Will Eubanks says it's too late for them to change candidates.
No, it's not. No, it's absolutely they haven't had their convention yet where they've appointed him as the winner. He can go back to the delegates and be like, "Nah, we're not doing it."
I don't think he's going to run. I really don't.
He can't run. Only thing he can do is run shit down his leg. Come on, Jackpot. The motherfucker's wearing diapers. What are you laughing at? I'm being honest here.
They did. They said that that during that debate, that first debate, they said we're going to have like a 10-minute intermission, and they said they had all that. I just heard this that they said they talked to him, said they had briefed him on it, said it'll give you a chance to get off your feet, and change your diaper if needed, and
it's a mess. It's a mess. Big Barney Ross, Brock's comments great. Far right and far left people are some of the most insane people in the world. Big Barney Ross with the comment of the night. This administration needs to start thinking, what kind of a world are we leaving Keith Richards and Billy Cole? Oh, shit. Anyway, not to talk politics this evening, but I mean, it is part of our lives. We try to put ourselves out there a little bit, but I don't know. It's a politics are a shithole right now. They really are. Anyway, there's the link if you want to join the show. Let's try to stay away from the politics if we can. There's the link. David with a good point. Can't satisfy everybody. Someone is going to disagree. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You can't make everybody happy. Remember the Dennis Leary bit about happiness comes in small doses. It's an orgasm or a cookie or a cigarette. He says that's what you need to do in life. You come, you smoke the cigarette, you eat the cookie, you get your ass up in the next morning and go to fucking work. That's what life is.
That's it.
Basically it. Happiness comes in small doses. So there you go. All right. You want to join the show? Have it that. Would love to have you join us this evening before we get out of here. If you would like to join the
getting
program.
close to time to wrap it up.
It is getting that way because some of them we got to go sleep.
Yeah, I've got to get up extra early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we'll knock that out. I'll tell you what, we've had a
2:30 around these parts for me.
well, fuck that. Let's.
Well, I'm trying to, I go on vacation after I finish up my day on Friday, and I'm really, really trying to get as much sales in there as I possibly can.
So jackpot. Let's air this out now. Are you going to do a show on Sunday? Are you going to be traveling? If not, I can do the show by myself.
No, well, I won't be traveling then. I'll already be there. I'll have to let
We
you
could
know.
we could be interrupting with Jackpot and Mama Jackpot alone time. We don't want to do that shit. You guys are
Yeah.
alone on vacation. Y'all could be antiquing or some shit. We don't want to
On
cut into
Sunday
that.
night at 9:00.
I don't know what you guys do in your spare time, sir.
The only antique shop that's open is in my closet. I mean, at that point of time of the night, no,
well, we will be
not
doing a
even in
show
a
on Sunday.
sophisticated place like the Poconos. They don't have a 24-hour antique shop. So
I'm just saying, I will do a show on Sunday evening. But if Jackpot is not here, Jackpot is on vacation. Don't be pissy.
yeah,
He'll be back. All
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna be relaxed.
Stay
And
with it.
the thing I saw is it may rain. I don't know, but that's fine. I got this. I had one of these before, and I don't know what happened. Somebody borrowed my suitcase the other week and may have lost it. They may have, or they may not have. But I ordered myself one of these off of Amazon for
What is that?
$8. It's an NYC transit map. It's got all of your points of interest, everything you need to know, and that's your subway map.
I just see Jackpot up there fucking running around New York City.
There's Queens.
Yeah, I'm not. Can you imagine Jackpot with his little transit map? I got this on Amazon. I'm going to. Jesus Christ.
That'll be enough of that.
I
Jerry
love you,
Wells said, "Am
Jackpot.
I going to visit the
Yeah.
shooting location?" No, I won't be anywhere close to that. That's near Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Vandy Dandy says you should take a video on the subway. Brock says you should get ready for Jackpot to go to that pizza place.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Look at JJ Redick. JJ Redick's a cocksucker, by the way. I've got the summer league game over here on my other monitor, and he's sitting there now. He's the coach of the Lakers, and it's like, fuck you, JJ Redick. I still hate that tall motherfucker.
Isn't the summer league kind of for players who are the shits?
Well, Bronny James is playing in it, so what does that tell you? Enough said. No, it's like a young player showcase. A lot of these guys will end up in the G League. They did have, what was it? They had that Zach Edey played the other night, and he had like 20 and 12 or something. I mean, he's maybe a problem. He may be a problem. Who knows?
He's going to be a problem in these streets. What? How many? Oh, well, I mean, how many like points did Bronny James average in college? Was it like 3 points a game or something?
4. I think it was like 4.
Oh my god!
It wasn't like. See, and that's the other thing too is that was just nepotism. But I've seen Dalton Connect playing in the summer league. He looks like he knows what he's doing. But
yeah, he's good.
He's a good player. All right, well, Jackpot's got to do his thing. We'll have some of the simulations up from the new NCAA football game. I'm going to get that set up here and get that rolling. So we'll do which game do you want to simulate first, Jackpot? Do you want to do the Clemson Georgia game, or do you want to do?
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So we'll that'll be the first one we drop here on the Carolina Jackpot channel. We'll do the simulation there once I get that up and rolling. So
Clemson versus Georgia. Can you simulate South Carolina versus Old Dominion?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
We can do a simulation every day if you really want. It's up to you. Do as many as you want. So
all right then.
All right, guys. Appreciate you checking out the show. We shall see you later on. The stream will be up here in the next day or so. So I just got to connect the YouTube to it. So we'll knock that out and get it ready to go. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.